playing this double duelist setup. They love being aggressive. They love
okay, we got Nova on defense. We
Icebox.
got DRG on attack.
We know what Spirits can do. And he's feeling it. So pistol round
Okay,
away.
let's see how... Dude, this turret here should just own... This turret and the... Oh, boy. And the Killjoy U2 in general should just own everything. And we're really far behind, right?
Immediate swings. CB's here to help out Swirl on the engagement. Dizzy goes out, but the shot is good for Spirits. That's the opening kill going the way of DRG.
Damn, we're so far behind. Okay, chat. I'll wait for the kills and then I'll try to get the sound good.
And another as well onto Flexine, and they fall away. So they keep the numbers 4 versus 3 going into this mid round. Spike.
I can't do it, dude. It's killing me.
Wingman goes out. There's going to be that plant. High tide falls. Swing in. Nick takes care of Guang over towards Snowman. And it's now that 3-on-3. Players suppressed from the 0 point. Swirl swings in. Monk on the tap forces some peaks, but it's still shots from Nick and Vukashu looking good. And
it's not too bad.
Vukashu, nice little 2-piece to end things out. And Dragon Ranger.
It's not too bad.
A little bit of hope there for Nova, just in the fact that Monk was kind of playing aim labs, dealing with all of those flashes that were coming through. It was kind of nasty how clean he was with it, keeping vision available for the team, but despite that, still able to get in, still able to get that plant and hold that post plant absolutely perfectly. Now,
even. Okay, this is 3. It's 3-0 on the pistols at the moment.
I think that is still a very strong agent, but I know she's not
Nova look like they're struggling a little bit.
I lean a little bit more into
I mean, obviously getting no pistols is rough, but even just there, like,
purist
not massively together. 3-person setup, the one close over towards Beast. They get the infos, they can 4-person stack here. Again, turret's going to give them full info every single time. So they can actually get 4 over towards the right side.
So that they've got more crazy firepower. Again, we mentioned that this is more of a frag-heavy map, so they clearly are leaning into that fact.
Wait, this wall has a gap in the middle, so the person will come up on radar if they peeked at the back. I'm not sure this defensive wall is good.
Still, the weaponry on DRG is just too much. All 4 fall, and now it's just Swirl alone on the flank, trying to make some magic. Feels like a round done and dusted.
He even looked over at his coach or his team there.
Can get done here. A little bit of damage would be quite nice, but we are seeing very similar to what we saw on our previous map, right? We're seeing that pistol round going in favor of DRG. This is their 3rd pistol. It's the 3rd time that they'll get the conversion as well. But it's only the 2nd time that they come through the conversion round.
Hello, Bacant.
With a little bit more.
I recommend just spamming Neon. Yeah, maybe.
From the previous round, obviously the first round on Lotus.
You could play Neon on. Well,
won the round,
this map's a bit of a stretch. I'm not gonna lie, but.
3rd, and off the back of that kind of gave over that first round that Nova was able to take advantage of.
Jesus,
so this time around, keeping it nice and clean, holding onto the vast majority of those weapons, which means that heading into this next round, they should still be feeling relatively.
DRG have to go break this though, right? You can't just keep sight hitting.
It's a similar situation that we saw on Lotus.
You have a solo harbor.
This aggressive, explosive composition. You need to be slowing.
Dude, even Nova just like they're coming for this turret. They got 3-person on middle. They're trying to punish the swing over towards here. Molly goes out. We're gonna shoot the Molly. He goes the Molly for kitchen.
Stop them from getting in the first place.
Okay, you got the turret here. You can just leave it now. You're all good.
Want none of that. They heard slow it down, and they start laughing.
No way.
B site. Nick takes that first pick, and there's the swarm being summoned.
Dude, stop holding middle. You're fine. You got a turret that holds it all. They don't vision block here.
Spirits trying to take a couple fights here, but nothing being given away just yet. Has to be Monk. Has to be CB.
They're not coming for the turret.
Taking an
Dude, there's no way DRG win a map playing like this.
Drive going out. No picks being given. No peeks being taken.
Nice, great though. Hit so many. 3.
And still, there's no plant coming through just yet. A spam through the smoke takes care of Ackerman. That's a huge power player down for DRG. They need a little bit more though. Cove goes out and Monk spams down Flexine off the peak. And CB and Monk, they combine. The initiator duo leaves Vukashu alone.
Okay,
9
big
HP.
buy round coming up.
Now
Big buy round
Lab
coming
of
up.
bullets.
Got an
The
armor out of
body
them. They
of
got a
hell.
gun out of them. Not the best damage.
Take that first round
They
and
have to
only
go
lose
middle. They
Sword.
have to break this turret.
Oh, man,
Otherwise, I'm
that
gonna lose my
Lexi peek
mind.
was so unfortunate. It's interesting that no one is checking Snowman though. Like there's no sightline. Everyone is checking in towards mid for some reason, and that's kind of why he eventually ends up dying there, because the timing on it just was not, you know, as good as it needed to be. I suppose Nick was meant to be doing that, but wasn't looking at just that precise moment. So the timing, the coordination wasn't exactly
No
where it
way.
needed to
You've had a
be.
turret 3 times at middle that hasn't been shot.
The fact is they did it. Around
And
on
then you
board
leave
for
middle
them.
as a question
Now
mark?
they can start to try to pivot. Economy
What?
not an issue just yet, unlike what we saw earlier in the day. So still very much doable for them to kind of maintain this. And I like that they did a really good job of slowing things down, denied the plant entirely. That's what we need.
By that plant. Keep the money game looking strong for yourselves. CB.
Okay,
takes
but
an early fight
DRG
over
actually
towards
go
mid,
and
does get
default
some
this
chip
though.
damage done onto
Dude,
Spirits.
DRG must be double swinging that and be like,
Has to put
what?
away.
There's no turret here?
Swirl
What the hell
towards
are they doing?
this attack-sided
That's
nest.
so funny.
This could mean something, especially now that CB's
Oh.
fallen. You need to make some value here.
That's
You
good
get
though,
some
good dash
chip
out.
damage done to Ackerman.
11
Adds
HP is pretty
11
lucky to be
HP.
alive. Got luck over towards B. That probably
For
has the
that
alarm up
neon.
pretty soon.
0 point does get destroyed, so again, this A site's still going to be tested, but with 3 players here for Nova, this is a defense that's about to be broken through.
Dude, that's like my
As they're able
nightmare. It's
to
turning
trade out
around to see a
Swirl.
wingman
That
slapping.
kill onto Ackerman, but Spirits and Flexing both still here, both
Jesus.
still looking good.
That's
and
a horror
Nick,
game I won't be
nice little
playing.
three-piece
That's for sure, man.
runs up.
Jesus Christ.
DRG 3-1 lead.
That was terrifying.
Feels like Lotus repeat about to get started.
Yeah, I mean, this was my
Dude,
concern.
he was just
with this
floating
map,
midair.
right? Frag is paradise, and DRG, a lot of those, you can actually see a lot of them. So the individual fights, DRG are winning those. You know, when they're not getting caught with their backs turned. And then the fact that they're able to isolate so many of those duels, and on top of that, they tend to swing off of each other really well. So Nova.
How
feels like there's
DRG
a
winning?
lot
I mean,
of
it's a
gaps that
crazy
need to be
overwhelm.
plugged in
It's
the
a
coordination.
horrible.
Oh my god.
It's a horrible
Ackerman.
overwhelm comp
Just
on
going
science.
faster, why don't you? The rest of DRG will be there to back you up. 4 kills in
Nice shot.
15 seconds. Make it 5.
That was fast, man. Wingman didn't even get a chance to plant.
Wrap up the 5th round in just 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about sending a message, right? It was an anti-eco. They were just like, yep. We're gonna deal with this.
Nothing new.
Great, and again, it's another round of perfect coordination for. So you've got the neon running in like crazy, but
Dude,
the
now
rest
they're
of
gonna
them
go
are
up
all
against
tangled.
these ults.
So even
The
though you
overwhelm of a
instantly trade out,
harbor
you
ult
have
as
2
well is
other
actually
players
disgusting. I'm
that
not
are
sure you can play sight. You might have to go
instantly
aggro and
able
make
to
him use
trade
it.
you, but to follow up with even more.
Dude, I can't believe we
kills.
switched that
DRG
turret up though.
back in the driver's seat,
They
as you
are
said,
very
much
focused on trying to
looking
shut
like
down
big
A. It looks like they
mirror
know there's
of
gonna be a
our
lot of
first half.
spams. Jesus, I mean, where are we?
Oh, Ackerman. Another opening kill, this time on to CB. IGL for Nova out of the picture now.
Nova need this? Yeah, dude, I think they're gonna get 2-0'd.
Over towards this A site.
It's really looking rough.
Still going to
They
be a
can't win
challenge,
pistols,
at least
and
on
they're
paper.
just getting
But
so
DRG,
wrecked on
they've
sites at
run
the
into
moment.
this exact stack before, and there hasn't been any sort of a fight from Nova through the toxic screen. Spirits finds another. Monk will be able to trade out. Still, the press goes through, and Spirits.
Oh my
just
god, dude.
rips apart Nova piece.
That's my
by
Rainer as well. My
piece.
Rainer's playing like that. You're just not losing.
No initial peaks, and Vukashu eventually does get the
Jesus.
info.
Well, dude, the individuals are
Closes
great
out
on this
in
team, though.
DRG. I mean, we talked about their Icebox.
So
we
what?
talked
What are
about
we
how good it
thinking?
was
DRG have to go for a run.
years before.
FPX have to go for a run to make it to champs. And honestly, from what I've seen, I think they can both do it. I don't think the DRG comps have long-term... I don't think they work long-term.
Now,
But
very early on, we have
they can definitely get some early wins.
Nova were able to turn things
And the
around
individuals
late,
are pretty
kind of
good, so
purely
maybe
off of, CB's
maybe they
calling
can
in that first half. This time around, they
maybe
need
they
to
can
get the
make it
coach
work.
involved because they are really struggling. And the crazy thing to me is that a lot of it is the same concept as what they had on Icebox, but I think sometimes when you're in the moment, you can become a little bit too bogged down with, you know, this is what we talked about in prac, this is what we rehearsed, you know, these are the plays that we practiced, this is how we want to do our retakes, and sometimes you kind of struggle to make
these one
those
and dones?
adaptations on the fly because you're so invested
Okay,
in the plan that
I'm
you've
trying
made,
not to flame too much,
making
but in
the
my
plan
opinion, they're
work.
like they
It's a
should be none and dones.
similar issue when it comes
Honestly,
to things like mid-rounding, which we know that Nova
but
had really
the individuals
struggled
are playing
with in
pretty
that
good.
first map. So get the coaches involved, give them a bit of a reminder, like, guys, we need to slow this down a bit. And I know
Like,
that it can be a bit more difficult, but they have a fairly grounded comp. They don't really have a flying crazy comp. So the Molotovs, the flashes that you have, they can create a ton of space. You just have to be kind of communicating with one another that little
What
bit
about
better.
EMEA? Do you see an underrated team making
Coordinating that
champs?
util usage,
For
swing
sure.
off
I mean, one of
another,
them's going to
and
do
you
it, I think.
can slow this down.
I'm
They
not sure the
proved that on that
Vitality,
previous map,
unless
and while they
Vitality
didn't get the
come up with
perfect
some really good
results,
stuff.
we know that they have the
I don't know,
potential.
man. It'll be interesting to see. Chat, Vitality kept Faded, right?
And there's Swirl
This is a big
executing
test for Faded here.
immediately in round number 7.
Because if they
Puts the
literally...
pedal to the metal,
Dude, I'm so excited to watch Vitality.
aiming for the
Wait,
gold.
let's wait for this buy round first.
Long
I'll speak about it in a sec.
The next fight here over towards mid, off the back of the turret.
I tell you what though, it's been nice from DRG. 4th rounds, it's been 2 important buy rounds. They've gone over towards mid to try and see if there's a turret. To break the turret, to make sure they can create pressure over towards mid.
A Thrash committed as well. CB does clear it out.
Yeah, full retake on the site.
Now there's no one to stop this plant from
You
going
got
through.
a Reina that can fight on
You
site.
have a null
Dude,
command
the
being
double
used,
duelist
but
though, man.
with Ezreal finding that
They can
pick on
just
the
freely
Flexi, it's
fight
gonna
here.
make Nova think about going for this a bit earlier than expected.
Fish hasn't
Thrash
seen
now
this
to come
guy.
through as well from CB. All this suppression, all this detainment.
Yeah, nice
as
shots,
Monk
man.
and Azir continue to find kills. Nick gets damaged down by the fragment.
Okay, nicely
grenade,
done.
and
Let's see how many
Swirl
they
is
can get
there
in a
on
row.
top of 410. It took them a little bit of time. And there's Swirl
What was I going to say
standing
about
up.
Vitality?
Statement
Because,
being made,
okay, when you
Nova
watch
is not
Vitality,
rolling over just
especially in
yet.
like stage 1,
Alright, that was really
it looks
good. I mean,
like,
it's not
and I don't know how
exactly
this is
the-
possible with the players that they
solution
have.
that I had
It looks like there's no one in
anticipated,
the team that
but
knows what they're
getting that
doing.
first early kill makes
Like
a
when it
massive
comes to just
difference.
like
You said
planning
mid became
strats
a
and
bit
just
of a
like a
problem
strat
for
book.
them. So what do? They pull back.
So
They make sure that they have
I'm wondering if
presence
it was
towards mid.
like
Not necessarily that it's
Safe was
reinforced,
fully
but
in
that they,
control and then he was like wanting to
are
just
able to
on the fly
respond
stuff
and
more,
react
and that
quickly if
Faded
they
had no
need to. It is,
power.
again, a little bit more
So
retakey,
it's like a
but
real big
they've got
test for Faded
really
at the
good
moment for
utility to
Vitality.
work off of
Like
to kind of
how they actually
enable
look.
that. Beautiful retake from them.
Because if you actually looked at how Vitality played,
Perhaps it's exactly
pre-barrier,
what they need to get that bit of momentum
they
going.
there was never a call, in my opinion. Or there was never like a set call of this is like the default that we do.
Overdrive out onto the site
So
in
I'm
full
kind of
effect.
interested to see.
They wanted to go
Because when I
fast
look at
into
that,
this.
I'm like, well, the
Taking
guy
that
doesn't know what
space.
he's doing.
Plant does
But
get
I
denied
have
thanks to
known
the
that
swarm grenade.
teams have like
Nick will be
full
able to
power
shoot
and you
that
can be like
spike down
powerless as a
onto the
coach.
site.
Like some
CB
players can
able
have
to
full
get
power, so
Akuman, but not
we'll
before
see.
being traded out, and Spirits with 2 keeps the numbers firmly in DRG's
It's gonna be fun to watch,
hands.
man.
With time ticking away now.
Nice shot.
3 on 3 as
God, that's
Vukashu
such an
gets
important kill.
activated over towards that yellow position. 2 on 2. Nick finds Monk.
K-Cup and Fury, yeah, it was along those kind of lines, right? I think maybe it was like a little bit worse than, because K-Cup's obviously the worst out of that, right? Because your expectations of Fury are a little bit lower, but I think our expectations of Vitality was so much higher that I think it looks what kind of worse.
So well with this Reina utility.
But it was
That
very
Dismiss
similar.
can actually
But the
be
thing with
so
K-Cup is like
aggressive
they
just
had
in
a
the
strat
fact that
book. It was just
you're able
one
to
strat
survive
book.
in situations
That was the
that you
issue.
probably
It
shouldn't
was
have. It allows you to
6
take
pages and all the
fights,
pages
take
were the same.
more
So
fights
as soon as they've
later
shown it once, it
on.
was obvious.
It's another solid
And then
round. Yeah,
Vitality,
it's an
it felt like there was
instant
no
reply
pages.
of, yes,
And
okay, you guys have
that for
figured
me
out
is like
how
a huge
to
worry.
stall and how to retake a bit stronger. We're just going to make our utility that much more oppressive. Go back to the B site where they're getting crazy amounts of value and make it super difficult for those retakes to actually come to fruition.
Which K-Cup you talk about? 2023. Scream Nivera. I'd tell you what though, it does kind of apply to the new K-Corp. But I would say that the strat book is like 20 pages, but it's just
a lucky timing. If that is
the current K-Corp. Problem with the current K-Corp is they put all their eggs in one basket, and all their eggs is relying on the worst agent in the game.
As Monk falls,
so it's like, well, but you've got okay theory. But the thing you're building around is like crap. Dude, the individuals for this team, like these three are crazy. These three are just gonna frag so heavy.
For DRG as they are pushing 7.
Yeah, it's crazy to me just how much respect they give to Nova's.
What agent? Harbor. They
get that we know that Nova's
2025 K-Corp. So this year K-Corp, they're a good team. Like on paper, they're an incredible roster. Like really good. Like can make champs roster. But they put. Do you know what it is? Well, again, this is my theory. What I think happened is Sadak looked at Vice and was like 15 seconds recharge of the Vice flash. We can do what we did with Harbor Viper, similar style, and with the Sky, right? And use the Vice like a Sky. It just doesn't work because Harbor's too crap. And the Vice, honestly, it can just get shot. And so like there's some stuff that has okay theory, but when your whole plan is based around something that doesn't work long term or doesn't work after you've like shown it more than once, then it's pointless. So that's where I view it, at least from an outsider POV. I have no idea. I think the Sadak had full control and he just had a bad read of the meta, which happens. He also had one of the best reads of the meta when it was Harbor Viper, so sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some.
Because what I saw from Nick's utility was phenomenal.
Harbor Viper Vice stuff.
This feels like
sorry, Sky.
Step up in the fragging department for him.
Jesus, bro. Where are you meant to stand? This team's individually just way better. What the hell? They're just shooting, man. No, I'm saying this year, Bacon, 2025.
On the other end of things, it's now a 2-on-2. Lockdown committed to buy a little bit more time, but Swirl in his ear. They lock it in.
Sure. How many do they need, though?
To bring Nova back into the swing of things.
This counts as a cuss, actually.
Getting hype.
This is crazy.
Hype man for this team.
Yeah.
Your point is they didn't use it before? Yeah, that's why it looks like it's Sadak's idea, right?
Killjoy dies towards Snowman, where she always is. We've got somebody dying up in towards Kitchen. I don't recall who it was, but again, like
they used it before. I mean, they used it on one map.
And DRG managed to take a lot of advantage of that, but unfortunately, they do lose some of these fights.
One map, I think.
Outright.
Didn't they only use it on
they're going to be feeling so good about how that round went because it gives them a little bit of room to breathe, and they baited out a lockdown.
Bind and split. All maps, okay, that's pretty rough.
Randomly swing stuff. Like,
yeah, then somehow they managed to get the two only Harbor believers in the world and put them in a team.
Swirl looks for that opening pick and takes out the raid boss of Spirits.
DRG have shooters? No, DRG really have shooters.
No chance for him to get active here. He's shut down immediately, and you talked about opening picks. Well, Nova, they've got one on the board again. You want to see that mid-round. You want to see them not give away this advantage. 3 players over towards this A site. There's a swinging his ear to get some information. Quick little pop-up from the toxic screen. DRG. Now that they're going to be joined in by Vukashu, and it's going to be 3 strong towards the same side.
Knife hits 2.
Should be expecting a hit soon.
What do we then? Do the Killjoy util just gives them so much every single time. Yeah, they're going to get pretty early info with the alarm bot.
Worst call, losing such a powerful proponent in this, and there's every possibility that the Empress was a large part of the plan for this round. Oh,
dude, it's probably the most perfect timed Killjoy. It's just the fact that it has a little bit of a cubby.
Still gonna up to try to push
Wait, is Wingman gonna get
Maybe
this
they
in
can
time?
destroy the lockdown, but they don't
Yeah.
have line of sight on it, so
It's
they're
all
just
good.
going to get caught out.
You can just tank it,
A
right?
few kills to come through, but now they're trapped. But there's no one to follow up. Azir's just arrived, but there you go. The kill to connect. Ackerman is ridiculously
I've seen him
low.
win
He'll get
these
cleaned
though.
up, and Vikasu
I've definitely seen him win these
somehow
before.
clutch. Yes, Spike is planted. He's
Oh
good
my
for
Jesus, that is
and
incredible.
somehow it's down
Good
to a
reposition. He's
1v1.
fast with
Just
it.
have to play a little bit of time, play off the turret. The turret is now destroyed. Has an inkling of where
Got so
Swirl
owned
is,
by the
but there's
timing.
no
Does he
Detroit
consider?
swap that is
Ooh,
open.
oi,
Moved
oi,
it-
oi,
Yes, he does. The
That's a
1v3
masterclass. Fair play, man. That was so
from
nice.
Vikasu to clutch the unwinnable round.
And this,
Absolute cinema.
God, that was really
that
good.
is why you don't count him out. Ever in these situations. We talked about him coming into this series as being such a dominant force in the late rounds, on the lurks, in the clutch, and he was quiet on Lotus. It was Ackerman,
Ooh,
it was
man.
the Ackerman show all the way on Lotus, but here he shines beautifully in the 1 versus 3 to put
These
Dragon
coaches,
Leader
man.
back
Yeah.
in the swing of things,
You're
back
gonna lose
in
their
the
mind a little
driver's
bit.
seat on
Someone
Icebox.
peeked pretty early on
Just
site.
lead is where they
2v1.
sit with potential for a 9 as Ackerman goes fast.
The individuals
out
again?
really.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first map also.
Buy from Nova is so unfortunate. 2 rifles, that's all you've got. They're close to a null
Dude, that second kill was
They're
pretty
2
impressive.
off of a Viper's Pit, so unlikely to see that come out. That being said, I feel like we haven't seen a Viper's Pit. Am I tripping?
We saw 1.
Damn.
He must have.
And it was over towards A. And it was around the win B.
Oh, there you go. That'll do it. Oh, that's
Yep.
rough.
Oh,
Flash goes in. Spirits does get taken out, so an opening pick for Nova. And that's incredibly valuable considering the weaponry they have. Azir, 145 to the head of Ukashu. He does
hello,
fall
Sonya.
away
Hey, done.
to live for another fight. Swirl pushed up over towards
Wait, hold
A.
up.
This is the position that's been sold for him. This
Oh my
entire
God.
round
Does the
sits on
Killjoy
his
own him?
back. He doesn't get swung. He takes the first, finds a second and a third as
nice,
well.
man.
Swirl rips open DRG.
Can they win with
to
4?
give
I
Nova
don't
a
think
chance
so. I think
at just a
DRG are playing too
brief
good
moment
individually, but
for a 4th. But Ackerman's still alive. A 1v4 to work with in 17 seconds, so the time just evades him ever so slightly. The spike dropped to no man's land, and the swing from Monk is
damn, that
good.
was nice.
It was all on the back of Swirl, and he gets loud about it. Puts it to note that he's responsible for Nova getting a 4th round.
It's Icebox. 0 could be
And the
enough.
thing
That's
is,
actually true.
So not only was the spike in no man's land, but it was also like up on elevation.
What about Ascension? Do you
as
see
we know,
Apex
there's no
or
verticality
Gentleman's
for
going
this,
to champs or not
competition.
getting relegated?
So to try
I
to
think
get there,
Apex
you
are
were
done
always gonna put
for.
yourself in danger. There was literally, in my opinion, no way back into that unless
I
both of
think
the last remaining Nova players just
Gentlemates
arbitrarily
have a
swing
chance
down
for
1-1 and
playoffs,
he wins
for
those
sure.
fights. But that doesn't end up happening, and in fact, we do actually see them manage to
Bottom map one.
somehow.
Wait, did I even
clutch
try and
out
upload it?
that final round in the half
I can't even
and
remember
bring
trying to
it
upload it, to be
8-4.
honest, Sonia.
And
I
this
think
is
it's me just
certainly
being half asleep.
recoverable because we know that this is a really strong attack-sided comp. I'm gonna let this interview play.
Oh no, I have no idea where the thing is.
你觉得他的表现怎么样？有没有哪一回合的操作给你留下来比较深刻的印象呢？
我觉得
It's not there yet, dude. It's me just being asleep.
其次，我印象最深的是他在 A 大那波，开了大
You
之
didn't
后
upload it, you just talked and left.
非常冷静、非常关键的一波。
Yeah,
那
it
虽然
sounds
目前
about
大
right.
比分是由 DRG
Alright.
暂时领先，
Okay,
那
DRG
虽然到
versus
了图尔
Nova.
诺瓦的焦点
Curious about how the second half is going to go purely because of the fact that we know that they have
Do I like
such
fighting
one-sided
games?
competition.
I used to play
And I
fighting
think
games
that
when I was a
they're
lot
going to
younger.
struggle
还能往
with
上这
denying
张图
space.，
第一赛段包括在这张图，Nova 以前都会有一些
But I never got
精
like
彩的
fully
反派，希
into
望他
them.
们可以加油，在接下来的比
Like
赛
I
里
wasn't
找到
like
自己的手感。
Coming through.
相信加油，一起期待一
Like
下
I,
两队
not
在
that I
下
would,
半场的
not that I would
As to what
button
this
bash or
attack
anything.
cycle
Like I would
look
learn
like
some
for
stuff,
Nova
but
is it's
I like
going
Smash
to
Bros.
be
Like
a
the original
lot
Smash Bros. on
of
N64.
setting
That
up
was a
Swirl,
banger, dude.
right? You want to see
Mortal Kombat I played a little bit of.
a bit
Dead or Alive I
more
played quite a
of
lot of.
the CD utility, the KO.
Soul Calibur I
running
played a little bit of
through.
that.
That
But
utility
honestly,
between the two of them is so
the most fun
powerful
I had
to
was
set up
probably
Swirl a guy who we
Super
know
Smash Bros.
can take
Super
over
Smash Bros. Is really
games.
fun.
You want to see that be brought in to this attack side, especially for Nova here on this pistol. And you can see
Street
it's those
Fighter,
three players
when I was super
over
young.
towards B main. We'll take a fight.
Damn,
There's the
that's...
swing. Akuman goes
What?
in, but CB and Guang quick to find
How did
kills.
they
Azir as
even
well
win
with
then?
one.
This wasn't too
It
bad
forces
from
the
DRG
pressure
at
onto
all.
Nick now, trying to find
They had
some
so
more
many...
value.
They had so many numbers here.
Nothing gained
I'm
just
surprised
yet.
they lost that
Instead,
first kill.
It's going to be this wrap from mid. It contains these two defense
Dude, if Nova get the
players
pistol,
over towards yellow, over towards B main. A site will
they
be
should have
the
a pretty
focus
good
now.
Time. They can just
Set to
force
come
over
through
towards
for
A all the
CB.
time. DRG have got like a retake comp, kind of.
Sam, this is a really tough spot for Nick and Spirits.
How does GRG's comp play on
I'm
defense?
gonna
I mean, they
go out
just
on a limb
fight,
here
I
and say
think.
this is unwinnable.
They pretty much do what we
Especially
saw,
now.
where it's just like,
Yeah,
Nick's so
maybe.
low on the
you
HP.
fight with double flash
The
stun.
thing is, like, this is
I
kind of
guess
what
you
my
just
concern
retake
was. So
everything.
you have this highly aggressive composition, so a lot of what you have to do is take really early
Look at what
space.
Bacon's comment
and
is.
bearing in
What
mind,
was
I
chess
think
like
we
on
should just,
release?
you know,
Those
have the
patches
caveat of
must
knowing
have
that
gone
this is a
hard.
pistol round. So a
You
lot
just
of
know
those
this guy's
rounds do tend to
smiling
also just
so
be
heavily
kinda
to
chaotic,
himself.
kinda
He's got the
crazy,
biggest smile.
as teams just try to
We'll let him
brawl it
have
out
it.
a little bit to give themselves something to springboard off of.
It's
So,
a
I don't
grin,
suppose we- I
yeah,
don't think that we
basically.
can read terribly
Dude,
much
he just
into this
thought of
round,
it and
but
he's
was
like,
a
oh
pretty
my
dominant
god, I've
way
got an
for
absolute
them
banger.
to kick off that first pistol.
Actually, it
and
probably is
it's
too
the
good for you,
first
Bacon. You
pistol
sure that was
they've
your
won
one?
so far today. So that in and of
In
itself
in-game volume, I
does
turned
say
up a little
quite
bit.
But is it going to be enough to allow them to close that deficit? I find it interesting what they've gone with here in terms of what they've spent into. We still got a ghost.
Out of the
here,
8 Ascension teams, how many are
Mac
getting top
ability
8?
as well
Is in
on
playoffs?
the get-go, so it's kind of all over the place.
How would
Sleep
how
on
would
the ghost
2G
now.
looking?
It will surprise you in this round. It's Azir to open things up with a push
Because
down.
I think Apex
Spirits
aren't doing it.
getting capitalized upon. It's a nice use of the high tide.
They
It
look
slows
good.
down the push B main. It forces
Spikes
a
is
fair
him.
bit
I
of
mean,
utility
Spikes is
out of
him,
nowhere.
but
And that's
are they leaning into
key
double
here.
duelist or are they
No
playing
question.
Spikes like flanks?
being this more anchory player over towards yellow does get suppressed, but still we know the shots that he can hit with that Sheriff does eventually fall away, and Nick in kind returns to the back of that B main B site. 30 seconds left. Nova, they need to commit this. Wingman goes out, starts to stick the
Save
plant.
your
No
smoke.
utility to deny it, so it's gonna
They-
be that 4v5 retake.
They anti-eco
You still
full
have this
group,
Guardian and
save
this
your
Vandal
smoke.
in these hands. Azir
And then don't
gets
use the
things
wall,
active
just
with
smoke
that
up the
kill
whole
onto
time.
Flexian, and the flank's been spotted out. So
It's an interesting
Ackerman
way of
not
doing
gonna
it.
be able to get any surprises done. Initial peeks go in. Azir looking to farm even more, and there's the final kill. Are they gonna feed the ace? They're feeding for the ace.
I
That's-
love it.
Yep. Give the ace to Azir. Come on.
Dude, they're
Let him
trying
get
to.
it. The
They're gonna
crowd
try
wants
dodge
it.
him.
Azir wants it.
Ackerman
We
doesn't
all
want
know.
Wait, they put him
It's a
down to only 6
sacrificial
HP.
lamb, and
That's fine.
Ackerman's just running away. He doesn't want to give it up. They deny the ace.
Oh, that's toxic, man. People talk about shooting bodies. Nah. Denying the ace. That's the real BM.
I'm not gonna lie,
But
if,
I think
if I'm on DRG, I take that. I'm like so happy with Ackerman doing that.
yeah, I mean valid, right? It doesn't give over an unnecessary ult point, and well, you know it's gonna make them sad. So you know, it's the
Yeah.
little things. I think that was a pretty good round from them as well, from Nova, playing a bit more patient. Most of them holding out in spawn, waiting to see if they get crazy with the pistols.
What
We
have you
do
learned from the
one
new
aggressive
map?
push that gets punished, and off the back of that initial
I've
kill,
learned
they
that
can then
the majority of
pivot and then
teams
decide what they want to do with the
don't
rest
know
of
what
the
they're
round.
doing.
So perfectly
That's what
telegraphed,
I've
perfectly
learned.
positioned. Can
I've
they
learned.
make it?
Did I reckon I could still come back and be a coach?
That's a trade.
And I'm
It
pretty
goes
sure I'd
through.
make masters. That's what I've
4 on
learned.
4. It is possible, but with Guang taking that,
Actually,
second kill
it's kind of
onto
crazy to be
Ackerman.
honest. What I'm seeing.
it does put more pressure
Crew had
on
some nice
Nick
stuff.
and Spirits. This B site's completely open. That could call the retake here. Could be the note for CB and for Monk to move through mid back towards B. Because Azir has so much space.
FNS said the same thing in 2024.
Just evades the line of
Wait,
sight.
about playing or?
Monk and CB both here. There's that dizzy that goes out.
It's a little different when you're playing, dude. Like if I don't have to hold a mouse and it's all theory stuff, then trust me, we're okay. If I have to hold the mouse, then we're in
Those
trouble.
rifles in Vukashu and Nick are going to be so powerful. Nice little wingman usage.
Hey, chat. Relax yourselves.
With this outlaw.
Relax yourselves, chat.
Turret goes out as well just to buy a little bit more time. Wingman's off the spike, but so are the heads off of bodies.
Doable.
And now Guang, 1v2. That's the Sheriff!
Oh my god, I kind of didn't believe when I said doable.
To win things out.
I actually had no belief when I said doable, but he hit a mad shot.
Bro, if you're a Dragon Racer,
Dude, that's huge. You force him down to eco again.
Bro, because I'm like, there's no way they actually do. Part of me is going, just save. Just like, save your weapons. Back away. Don't even worry about it. But they get so much done. Wingman on the spike actually draws some of those swings, and that allows a lot of those kills to come through.
The full commit into the crouch?
Has no right, man. Double headshots with the Sheriff. We saw that from CB as well in the previous map. We know how deadly these Sheriffs can be. And to allow that to become a clutch moment, Nova now on the precipice of evening things out in an anti-eco, so the chances of this not happening are quite slim. This was the concern. DRG, great attacking roster, attacking composition, but on the defense, they just cannot find any space.
Uh-oh.
Holding firm on this A site to keep things going.
If that kill didn't go down.
Oh,
Jesus.
It's too heavy. And Swirl, a 3K of his own.
God, they're not convincing. Okay, another big buy round.
On a bit of a roll now.
Damn.
And they just need to keep it going.
If the individuals aren't here, then this comp can't really do much on defense.
Just keep winning.
Going.
They've only had one buy round.
Just keep winning. Just keep winning. Bro, some of these shots have been nasty. Some of these like Sheriff shots in particular have just been devastating.
You think?
And I'll be
Do you reckon
honest,
T1 can make a comeback?
Like a round. So I'm a little bit
and
surprised
come top 4 at champs? T1? Yeah, T1. Dude, Team 1's a good enough team. T1's a good enough team, and they in theory can just find a pretty good meta that suits them.
So
like double duelist is great for that team.
They've got to have some sort of an idea. They're not going for crazy aggression. They don't have a ton of info gather.
How about DRX? DRX are weird, man. DRX like to change stuff up all the time.
In what you're able to get. So
the funny thing is, I think if DRX actually like stuck with their original kickoff comps, I think they might have. I mean, would have got like. I think they would have got to at least the final of.
Goes in, but no one found.
Of
spotted out, but
Bangkok.
No detains, and that's the big
I can't believe they moved away from what was working.
Find a kill on deflexing, but Spirits with a response. It does put things in kind of an awkward spot as the spike is dropped in no man's land. No way for Nova to recover it. They have to now just take
Wow, bro, he hit that before he got flashed. Whoa, he tanked the whole. Okay, I swear Vukashu has to swing earlier there, but
Nick has to fall away thanks to that lockdown.
That's kind of insane that guy got a double kill while eating a flash.
A lot of work to do. 30 seconds left.
Oh, he's a little bit late. I think he can jump out. Yeah.
But that mosh pit is going to confirm his death. And now a 2-on-2.
Well, we got the plant down. He did the Sage G's.
2 power players for the side of Nova. A Thrash goes out. It will be taken out as Ackerman reaches the site. Fast lane goes up. A travel over to
No way. What a round, mate. What a round you've had.
3 on the round as the wingman gets taken out. Nick has to find
Holy, what a round from CB. That was insane, dude.
Fragile. Nova, they continue their reign of dominance, and CB gets that round strong.
Damn, Dragon Ranger do so much in that round to just keep the control for as long as humanly possible. That was my concern with the Harbor as well. That advanced position could have been massive, but getting caught out is a massive problem.
Yeah,
because that takes away a lot of your sight denial for when you're trying to go for these retakes. So you're relying so heavily on things like Molotovs, right? Or you know, space
Yeah,
denial
you guys
rather
are in
than
trouble.
sideline denial. So unfortunately,
You got 0 rounds in
not
defense
having
right
that
now, and your
available
comp isn't great.
made that
Great.
round incredibly difficult. And I think
Somehow
now,
got to fight together more.
this is such a weird time to me for this timeout to come through. I mean, I suppose we're
Hello,
still
Nats.
not
How we
in
doing,
the
dude?
danger
Happy
zone
birthday for
just
the other
yet.
day as well,
They
mate.
are only at a
Thank you so
one-round
much for the raid,
deficit.
bro.
The problem
Stream was
is
good.
that it has been 5 consecutive rounds that they have conceded. They haven't been able to pick up a single round yet on this defensive half.
Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for that.
This comp is not finding the results that it needs, and they're trying to be dynamic. They've taken aggressive position. They've taken slightly more like pulled back.
Hello, Raiders.
holding
Hello.
A bit more safe, trying to hold angles.
We are
The
one map.
retakes, unfortunately, they don't have the
2 maps
utility
in,
that
second
they
map
need
at the
to
moment.
enable that, and the post plants
In
like
Nova
you've got to give the
DRG.
credit there where it's due to Nova as well. They've set up these post plants so beautifully in so many of these rounds. So many sidelines get covered. They make sure that they've still got a lot of utility held onto for the late round. Like, this is not the mid to late round struggle that we saw on Lotus. So it could have just been an issue with the map. Now they're on more comfortable territory, and they've really looked like they're in
Prodigy's
such
batted
good
him down.
control throughout
So
the
overall
second
fade on
half.
Crowd, I don't mind, dude. As long as you're using one of them, you're all good.
You've also seen a huge turnaround in performance from Guang.
Again,
A
you'll
player
see
who
more
was a
fade
bit
than you will
quiet,
Sova.
especially considering the fact he was
But I
on
think
map
the
early, he
Sova's
was
better
on
in
that
ranked.
duelist on map 1.
Maybe in a team, but again, I don't know.
And looks a lot more comfortable, right? 13
Okay, let's see how
kills,
DRG
looking
play.
really strong, being one of the 3 leaders in frags for Nova, right? 3
Because
players,
they
all
kind
at
of
13 kills.
they kind of got to fight together.
It's really impressive stuff. And a really great turnaround for him. And as this swing goes in towards Tube, Flexing falls yet again early. There's no smokes for the retake, and Guang
Damn,
continues to farm up.
This whole game has
3
been mad
kills,
from
and
individuals.
Swirl closes it out
Like
even
everyone's
after 2
taking.
kills
I
on
feel like everyone's just
Fugashi
having
One.
the go of just like, oh, this one's my one.
Nova,
With
they
3K
keep the
here.
dominance alive, and they hit double digits.
What about using
That's
2
probably
of them?
worth mentioning,
I
right? 'Cause
think
you were talking
Corrode's
about
probably the
Guang. I mean, he
only
was
map
playing
where
melee on the previous
I think
map,
you can
which
try
is
use
so
both, yeah.
different to a Killjoy. Like, these are 2
'Cause
completely
the whole,
different agents,
first of all, the
not
whole
just in
thing's
terms
like
of their roles,
all
but
about
their
middle, basically.
play
Well, it's all
style,
about A and
their,
middle. Because
their
obviously if you can
ultimate
just get over
goal in
towards
the
A on
composite,
attack,
like, it is
and you don't have to take
night
middle, then
and
you've won.
day
But
between
if you
those 2
can,
agents.
it's
So
all
I
about
think that there
middle,
was maybe a bit
and
of
every wall in
uncomfortability.
middle
You
is
know, we weren't
spammable
too keen on that
from
way
multiple
lane. We didn't
positions and
really
far
see
back.
great stuff
So I do
coming
think
from it, but
that
now on what I'm
Fade,
presuming is a
Sova,
bit more
you're
comfortable
at
of
least
an
see a team
agent,
that
a bit
use
more
double.
comfortable of a role, he's really starting to shine.
Ackerman's brought out the op now. DRG, they're starting to get in a really tough position. They need this line of sight held, and they need
Can't be
spirits
Arena
to win
missing
that
those
fight,
shots.
but Azir just gets one over. It puts Nova in such a good spot. It's going to force these rotates, force DRG to be ever more careful of the gaps in their defenses. Ackerman and Nick, though, still over towards this A site, with Vukashu leaning towards this site as well.
It's done. Maybe.
But it seems
Ackerman's
Nova,
been
they
pretty
wanna
quiet.
commit
It's the
to
first
this
time he
A
gets
site.
the op out. He's got that. He's got the ult as a backup.
There's the no command, but the shot from Ackerman still good for 1.
Oh, he legged him.
Second shot being taken, no kill found though. It's just damage onto
Nice,
CB.
dude.
Back of the site, Vukashu's there, takes that kill, and the Viper's Pit is out now. Nova, they want this, but there will be a lockdown from Vukashu there to respond.
Yeah, how do they play this one?
Azir
Is the Viper just gonna
actually
try
stick
tank
this
it?
out, wait it out in this lockdown as Monk goes pushing, trying to take a timing. It's an opening kill, but nothing more than that. And Azir sitting through the site. There's eventually going to be that stick.
Oh no way, he got away with this. Damn, they're on top of it though. God, it was close, man. It was close. It was close. Dude, Wingman in that situation is pretty nice though. You gotta give him that. Everyone being out to hunt still. They insta went for that
Than what
spike.
we saw earlier. Despite the fact that there was a Viper's Pit involved there, they were still able to bring that back into a winnable scenario. And again, from a player deficit, that is really impressive just in and of itself. I think that Azir had a lot of potential being trapped kind of in the middle of that Viper's Pit, but knowing that there's a detained player and the Viper's Pit is still up, it's gotta be the Viper. So they were very much on notice, realizing that that player was going to be nearby. But one round, it's not going to be enough.
That's so funny. The whole charge up the Gecko flash went through, and then when it was finally charged ready to flash people, it had gone too high. You guys are getting wrecked in this fight. Dude, just stick around. Oh my god. Dude, Reyna players are just different sometimes. 4 HP to stick around.
A 1v4. We saw the ace clutch earlier. You need a bit more than that to keep the rounds flowing.
Absolute madness.
Otherwise,
it's a great shot though.
Game.
I like that one round. He was just like, what? I only lost the duel because the other guy crouched instant.
That dismiss is just devastating. I spoke about it on the attacking half. We haven't really seen too much from him on this defensive side, but now in that round, just more of reinforcing the idea that he is oppressive and this agent can be
that
so
really nice round,
good.
dude.
There
It's
it is.
pure
That
madness,
third
but
one for him on the round with 8 HP, just
when you're
continuing
good, you're good.
to be a devastating factor for this Dragon Ranger roster. And now the scorelines are tied up again. 2 rounds back to back for DRG means that they're definitely in with a chance again.
Kill on.
Red,
Look at
finally,
that.
taken
Dude,
so
how
long,
did
but
he
they've
not
finally
die?
kind of figured out the formula. And I think the formula is like, you need to have someone like Spirits taking a few more of these early fights. Because of the untradeability of that utility, Reyna is such a powerful agent on this map and has been for a long time.
Blade Storm out in the hands of Swirl. They want to get active and fast towards B. CB opening kill.
So some rounds he wins, sometimes he gets absolutely owned. He's played that just so many times in a row. Got Harbor ult for the retake. Did they want to use Harbor ult? Harbor ult with Neon ult is kind of legit.
DRG. They have Ackerman.
The Nova just whacked the Killjoy ult down.
Relay Bolt will go out alongside the fast lane. That Harbor ult will go in as the Reckoning wreaks havoc, but so does the Thrash. It detains one, stuns up 2. Spike was tapped.
Okay.
Nothing given just yet. Instead,
Nice
it's
shot.
Guang able to take out Flexine, and now Vukashu back to clutching ways. We've seen it before. We need it again. There's one looking for another, but the spray, it's not there just yet. Has to stick. In his ear, playing the time. It's half.
No way.
The swing and the time will be there. Just
Oh my god.
barely, no.
Dude, that was nearly nuts, man.
Just
That shot on the guy
quarter of a second
on
too
above
late.
was insane,
Nova
dude. That was
by
a
the
great
skin of
try.
their teeth.
Bro, that round was outrageous. The fact that Vikashi nearly does that twice. Nearly 1vx's for
Vikashi, yeah, he's so good, man.
twice. But
That's great.
you have got
Dude,
to
this
give it
next
to
shot
those
is
Nova players. The amount of time that they were able to buy. Ezir, I think that there's a moment where he's like, I don't know if I've done enough. I think they might have this. It was that close.
Yeah,
but
that was
he
real
does
close.
do just enough. And
Um,
Nova will go up to 11, and that's such an important round because
dude, they
look
kinda
at
wrecked them.
DRG's economy. They come into
yeah,
this
they
with
got an
only 2
eco.
rifles,
They're up against
2
Killjoy ult.
stingers,
I'm surprised they
and
didn't
yes,
use
we know
Killjoy
how
last round.
devastating a sheriff can be, but ultimately
used fish
they
ult
are
for when
at
they
a
came,
huge
though.
disadvantage. They invested 2 ultimates in
Dude,
that
how
round. There was a lot that they
Did the
used
flash
to
get
try
shot?
to
'Cause normally you
maintain
bounce
that
it off of
control.
here and then
for
you can pick it
Nova,
up. Did they
they
shoot
come
it
into
early
this,
so it
they
landed
still
up
have
here?
their
That's so
lockdown,
funny.
and of course,
There's
full
no way he
rifles.
missed
Winning
it.
this round puts them on map point, and
Right.
we may just see that third.
Spirits, who would have thought that he's in this position?
It waits in the wings.
Well,
Spirits
Jesus.
has something to say
he's
about it.
literally taking turns
Doesn't
though.
want
It's
us
just
to
like,
go
well,
there just
the
yet.
success for rounds. Next round he's gonna get one
Kill's
tapped.
gone. Monk and CB out of the round, looking for a third on Swirl, but that won't be the case. 4 versus 3 DRG. They still have the numbers. It's just the weaponry is a bit lacking for now.
The Killjoy ult in the
Looks for more
3v4.
kills. Nothing given just yet.
It does
as
get
3
them the
players
plant,
tuck
but I'm
in
not even sure
towards
this guy's
Snow.
gonna get out of here. Oh,
It's
that's
the
really
stairs from
dumb, dude.
Ackerman to take care of Swirl, and now Vukashu gets activated with the Vandal. That's here, a 1v4. Thrash goes in, and so does the Relay Bolt. Flexing taps
Yeah,
for a
that's not
moment to let
smart.
the wingman
Like, just as the
finally
plant's
stick.
about to go
And there it
down,
is,
and you know
DRG
that normally the
up to
planter
11,
runs back to
back to a
safety,
tie
you
game,
decide
all
to go to the
24
place where they're
rounds needed.
spamming. That's
Guys,
really rough.
Crazy. I mean, we talk about tilter rounds, like that is outrageous. And the thing is, it's not even the first time that Spirits, being one of the only rifles in a what should essentially be an eco for them, gets a crazy multi-frag.
Yeah, I guess the calls were like, we gotta push site here. So he wanted to help his teammate,
you
but
think about the round before where Spirits
either that or he's trying to make sure that no one stops him from playing close, but I'm pretty sure the Killjoy had him covered.
There's a little bit more safety.
And they just wanted to take space. That's a rough round for Nova.
See the first, get the kill.
Spirits, where's he playing? Playing further back this time.
Off of that a little bit better. When Spirit survives that opening engagement, the round is definitely winnable. Now Nova on an eco themselves and could be in some serious danger.
The spam through the smoke, Bukashu, it finally pays off. And with Monk falling as well, it's just so tough.
Yeah, this will be a devastating one for Nova to lose.
We saw the shots earlier, but it
what about Reina players binding dismiss to mouse 1 on defense? Yeah, but
to put things away. DRG now sitting at series
it's not a
so
that's not a thing.
Because
imagine they wanted to stick for longer.
In this round. Do we
I get what you're saying. You're trying to do some
we see a world
you're trying to do some
Nova pull this round out of the
time-saving stuff.
They've had a crazy second half up until this point. So I feel like
I could understand the world. Like, you wouldn't do it to mouse 1. Like, if you weren't going to use any ADS, you could maybe do some, like, mouse 2, so it's, like, situational, and you never want an ADS, so you can do it to mouse 2, mouse 1, and mouse 2. But mouse 2 is to dismiss. That you could shoot and then do it for your first pick only ever. But even, like, you're never actually putting it as your mouse 1.
Ackerman and Spirits, both to be backed up by Nyx. There's Swirl, sits in the back
It's
of
just
yellow,
dumb.
but quick little use of the fragment grenade means Azir and Swirl can capitalize, but Ackerman still sits and waits, but it doesn't matter. It's just too heavy-handed of a hit towards B. Monk uses the null command to force Bukashu away. And as time continues to
this one's
tick
too
down,
much.
it feels imminent.
The raid wasn't the one before. Yeah, but this one's way too much.
The question is, who will answer the call?
Got a dink, of course.
Trying to deny.
Yeah,
He's stinking everyone.
This round is over, let's face it. Overtime, baby.
Okay, and it's pretty much all about who can get the defense rounds.
What a resurgence from Nova in this second half. There was a world in which it wasn't happening. This was going to be like a 13-4 or, you know, maybe a 13-8 like we saw in the first map. That world exists somewhere in a parallel universe, but it's not this world. Because Nova have given themselves that stay of execution, that little bit longer to breathe. That being said, we know how overtime works. Win by 2. See if Nova
map 3
Ascent. Their winning ways as we saw
these guys are playing such mad comps that
Nova
can be pretty
been
fun.
On a bit of a tear here. Win 2, lose 1. Win 2, lose 1. So set
okay.
up. Oh, sorry,
who can win the defense round?
To potentially win 2, maybe. Is this where we close it out?
And then they lose 1 afterwards, right?
But at that point, it's too late. It's
nah, trust.
Okay. I believe.
We'll be good. We'll be good. Okay. Nova, this A site has been such a problem for them on this defense. So you have to hope that somehow, in that 30 seconds of transition time, they've thought of a solution. You do have Azir boosted up towards screens. There's potential for a hold. We know that DRG, they want to hit this site all the same. Guang, Monk, Azir, all players who've had moments of brilliance throughout this map, but Ackerman deep sliding back into the beneath rafters area. Doesn't matter. Guang takes care of it. Through that little high tide, Flexine will be able to stick that plant as the retake commences. Nova, they have an opportunity and they don't want to waste it. CB and Azir, Guang as well making an impact.
That was a nice shot at the enter as well. Okay, and in theory, that's the round. That's the defense round. They're all going to start winning defense rounds.
And that's the thing, right? This is
do you want to stick around? You insta come out of dismiss.
The attacking side of DRG has been so aggressive. So for them to have won
again, I get the full process.
Means that now they get to move on to the attacking
if you bind it to mouse 2 and you're only using it situational,
damn
Sure,
near
it's so
flawless.
fine.
So
But if you're using it as mouse
I don't
1
know,
to
man,
insta-dismiss,
it's feeling like this could be
you're missing out on
the
like
This could be
50%,
the
maybe even more
14-12 as the
situations
prophets foretold
where you
that
want to
take us
save
over
your
to
dismiss.
Map number 3. A timeout to come through here for DRG because, yes, you know there's a map.
Like the idea is
You know
okay.
you
The
can
idea on its own is okay, but you would never
quote-unquote
do it as
afford
how you're
to
saying you
lose
would do
this
it.
map. But do you want to? Historically, in a 3-mapper, DRG loses to Nova. And I think that maybe it's anecdotal, maybe it's superstitious, but I think that maybe that kind of hangs over your head a little bit. Like, guys, if this goes map 3,
Would it even work?
we'd
Yeah, if you're
probably
holding
lose.
it down, you'd
So,
insta-dismiss.
looking to close this one out.
I mean, technically, right? Win 2, lose 1. You just lost 1. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Looking like a 5 map? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Feels like it could be a bit of a reach. But you know what? So is my superstitious belief. Feels like we're
So,
all
you know,
reaching at this point.
I mean, DRG need to be reaching for a win. Otherwise, we're going to Ascent. And DRG's Ascent comp.
Yeah,
has
that's what I
been,
do.
let's
Take it
say,
easy. And then you just train yourself to
abnormal.
mouse 2 when you're...
That feels like a lot
taking
of the
wide
comps
angles.
that we've seen today.
But then if you op, mate, you're kind of done.
Yeah.
Abnormal
No,
is like the
that's
name
true.
of the game.
Yeah,
Unless you want to no-scope everyone.
CM
Okay,
works with some
how are
pretty interesting
DRG going to
comps,
handle
but,
this
like,
one on
for Nova,
defense?
this is like a pretty standard comp. that
Dude,
they're running
4
on Icebox,
passing?
you know?
Okay, I mean, they can
I
fast
could
flood
see-
this, especially once the
I
wall
could see,
gets
like,
put over
LG2
towards A. It
running
looks like they're
this,
going to heavy
or
commit. The
like
Reyna
a-
can
like
actually,
a
like,
Team
take the
Heretics
line.
running something
I do
similar.
And
not
hold
see
it.
a team coached by Anders running this comp, I'll be honest. But there's lore behind that.
Yep.
No way.
Ackerman
He tried to
Opening kill on the
spam. He had the molly.
gives
He
them
tried to
somewhat
shoot
of
the
an
molly with a
opportunity.
shorty and then got insta spam back as soon as he shot the
Take this
shorty.
round to hold on to this A site. Nova,
Did
a
DRG
lot
get
of
it
their
close with this
attacking
comp?
success came
I mean,
over towards B. They
mate,
wanted to
the
switch things up. They wanted to
individuals
go
are just
towards A here,
fragging.
and there's
Like, look
3
at
players
this
still
stuff that's
holding
going on.
This site with Bukashi waiting in the wings very quickly. CB on the tap, trying to get something done.
Like, you
trying
got
to bait
2
some
one's
sort of a
24 to
fight,
12 and one's
nothing
23 to
goes
14.
out.
Like, they're going crazy.
Monk falling, utility being used by DRG to reclaim space. Now 25 seconds. There is no time for a rotate.
Yeah,
They
they're
have to
disciplined. They're
just
pretty much
commit
just
here,
waiting for...
and
Wait,
DRG know that.
bold move.
They move into the
That's a
site
bold
now.
move with the Cove.
As he
25
goes
seconds,
out,
the Cove...
no one blinded. CB will
Oh God, he's
eventually
above him.
be able to use that wingman
Dude,
for the plant and
Swell
swirl,
just
and
made
CB
a
explode
huge play.
into a flurry of 3
Whoa.
kills. The thrash goes out as well, and now it's all up to Spirits
funny, dude.
alone. An
Hey, what a play
absolute
from Swell, though.
demon
He
throughout
kind of
the
used that Cove
opening
against them.
stages of this map, but needs to close things out strong. A 1 versus 3. Azir gets taken out in the back of the site, but still needs more. There's that.
God, that
kick
was a
up
bold move
towards
as well,
Nest,
but...
Guang closes it out strong. We're going to map 3.
I'm kind of just glad that the DRG comp didn't work, to be honest with you. I will say again, the individuals play pretty well.
History repeats itself, right? Because we spoke about how this
I'm in for a
game
mad
is
comp
bit of
as well, though, on
point of
Ascent. Why not?
pride for Nova,
Dude, this
right?
play
They
from
wanna
Swell
be
at the
able
end
to
was
win
pretty
out
nice,
this
though.
series against Dragon Ranger.